Hello everybody, welcome. I'm No02 and thank you for watching this video. This is a team composition deck video. These decks are not designed to be played with bots. They are not designed to be played in quick play, though some of them will work just fine in quick play. These are intended to be played with a team of 4 people, coordinated, friends, family maybe, working together, communicating, microphones, that sort of thing in general, right? Where the decks all sort of work together in a general sense. Each deck is covering a different issue. Where we got this person's using an LMG, this person's using this gun. It's all organized, as you might imagine a team would be. These decks are flexible in what characters they can be played with. They're also designed around being viable for all of the acts, for all of the campaigns, except for campaign 4. Not that you can't use this team composition for campaign 4 or act 4, but like these decks have scavenger cards in them, and those cards are useless in Act 4 for the most part. There's nothing to scavenge, right? We got like Safe Room Recovery, useless for Act 4. So they're not really designed to be played in that particular mission. We'll do a different video for a team composition for Act 4. Maybe. How many people out there really are digging deep into Act 4, right? You sort of play it for your achievement and then you move on. So, we'll start from the top and go down. It's important to note here that for the most part, the first like 7-ish cards for all of these decks are about the same. So we're gonna cover the 7 cards here, and then we'll sort of cover the differences. But for the most part, what we have is we're gonna have share the wealth for every character here, and then a scavenger card for everybody. And that's just going to be our resource generation. Copper, universally good. All 4 players have share the wealth. That's 1,600 copper net gain per mission. It's very good, super strong, and we love it. Every character is going to have a scavenger card for the most part. Super solid, super great. The extra resources are going to be really critical, especially in no hope mode, as far as just sustaining your characters over time, because really, so long as you have copper to spend and things to throw and stuff to heal, like it's actually hard to lose. Then we pick up the grenade pouch. Double grenade pouch and grenade pouch. Tried and true and classics. Literally, so long as you have stuff to throw, it's hard to die. It's usually hard to die. It's usually when you start running out of things to throw, stuff to heal with, start running out of those critical resources, that's when things start to get really scary and problematic. Then we have Run Like Hell and Superior Cardio on your mark. And here we have like the foundation for the most part of what is good Back for Blood deck building. Resource generation, something to deal with mutations, something to deal with the horde, essentially, right? Run Like Hell, Superior Cardio, bare bones, bare minimum. If a horde event is triggered and you're caught out in a weird spot, Run Like Hell can be the difference between you getting to a good corner or getting swarmed in the middle of nowhere. It's super solid, and we have the ability to sort of build into more sprint speed if you find those boxes throughout the runs, those card shrines or not. But again, these decks are intended to be played together as a team, so for the most part hopefully you're not finding yourself in that sort of position. But again, just the bare basic foundation of just like resources, stuff to throw, movement. And we pick up on your mark because ammo. Shoot your gun. Don't have to worry about it. Super, super nice to have. I love it. But here, 2 of the characters, 2 of the teammates will have on your mark. The other 2 are going to have amped up, which is just super good. So strong. Still great card. Then we go into Bomb Squad and Improvise Explosive for this deck specifically. This person is running grenades as their offensive slot. They're investing into it. They're not really going to be invested so deep necessarily that they're going to be like grenade dumping bosses at the ending of Act 2. But still super solid, super good. It's going to give you the potential to one-shot tall boys or do significant damage to them, especially as you upgrade your offensive item in the shop, which, if you guys don't know, the offensive upgrade in the shop is the most important, the most coveted thing that you're always looking for. You should always be saving copper for that upgrade when it pops up, because you want those purple grenades as soon as possible. Desperately you want those grenades as soon as possible. But here we go then invest into Shredder. Knowledge is power. Shredder, again, is a sort of multiplicative with our grenade damage. So we do a little bit extra grenade damage than our typical like solo clutch decks do. But then we have Film Full Lead and Suppressing Fire. That's sort of, hence it's all beginning to come together now. Shredder, Film Full Lead. Notice that it's gained damage. It's +1 damage per second you're shooting or whatever, 0.25 second you're shooting. Again, that's multiplicative with the grenade damage that you've set up here. So we still have pretty dang strong grenades, but the damage is versatile. It's not all just accessory damage. So we've invested into our weapon now as well, particularly as an LMG. This person is running an LMG so that they can unload into tall boys and mutations from a distance, potentially saving them grenades. It's really nice versus shredders, the cultists, because they're way more easy to stumble. Especially the shredder, way more easy to stumble on your own with a good weapon. But shredders are so scary as far as their DPS is concerned, you're still tempted to throw grenades at them. But hopefully you can avoid doing that with this. The extra crowd control is really nice here. And we sort of just very offensive heavy here, right? Tactical vest and cold brew damage. This is the primary damage dealer of the team for the most part. At range, very flexible. I think Fill 'em Full Lead has made LMGs like one of the best DPS weapons in the whole game. It's insane. If you can get the Canna Whip-Ass attachment onto your LMG, your M249, it's madness. It's just madness how much damage you can do. And we have knowledge is power so that you can see that damage. Seeing is believing. Super strong, super solid. Flexible damage in that we have a primary weapon that does lots and lots of DPS. But also that damage translates into making our grenades more powerful as well. Very nice, very clean, very crisp. I love it. Now, if you're running into ammo issues, you can always swap out for the other ammo cards. But here we're sort of the mid-max damage that we can do with our LMGs, but still having ammo, bonus ammo. The more ammo you have, the more valuable on your mark is each time it triggers. You'll be getting 15% of your ammo back every single Horde event. It's really, really nice. And so we'll move on to the next deck. And once we cover all the decks, we'll sort of talk about how all these decks fit into all of the campaigns. Next is the Pipe Medic. Again, the first 7 cards here are the same, right? Except we have Support Scavenger. We pull out a grenade slot. No grenade pouch, and we put in Pinata instead. And an extra bit of resource generation here with Pinata. The reason why is this character has no investment into their throwables other than Pinata. That's because this person is going to be running pipe bombs. The Pipe Medic, it's not very clever, right? When it comes to triggering Pinata comfortably, reliably, pipe bombs are the best. You throw the pipe bomb, things are guaranteed to pull up and gather onto it. And once you get those purple grenades, you can pretty much gather the entire Horde event onto your pipe bomb, blow it up. Pinata is pretty much guaranteed the trigger, feels good. You get that sound effect. Oh, yeah. Other than that, we then moved on through our typical basic movement speed stuff on your mark. Standard. This is the support character. We pick up Medical Professional and Poultice. Your medkits. You carry medkits. They're big. They're bad. They're scary. They heal a lot. Now, I understand that EMT bag is technically more health gained when using a medkit. It's 25 points of health instead of the 20 that Poultice gives you. But the Poultice, I'm telling you guys, it's the best. It's the best. It's been the best since the beginning of time. They nerfed it. It's still the best. The fact that this is 20 points of healing is more than 50% efficiency when it comes to your bandages. It allows your pain pills to heal health on top of the temporary health that they give you. And it's still really close to giving you that 25% that EMT bag is going to give you with a basic medkit. Now, granted, as your medkits get stronger and you upgrade them, if that happens to be the case, Poultice does fall off a little bit, but still, I really do value the fact that you being able to heal with pain pills, or pain pills give health, is, I think, just huge. I think it's super valuable, especially when you're running Scavenger, Support Scavenger, because literally every accessory that you come across now is actually a healing accessory, turning the pain pills into something quite nice. Basically into a bandage. I love it. I love it a lot. And then we move on to Medical Expert. And the reason why we're running Medical Expert instead of Field Surgeon here is actually we're still trying to mid-max our healing efficiency. So just, again, overall health gained potentially when it comes to your pain pills, temporary health, or your med kit. We get more health here as well. 55% revive speed, who cares? Take it or leave it. Most of the time that really won't be a factor. Unless somebody's about to die in a Horde event, you shouldn't really be picking somebody up in the middle of a Horde event, and unless they're literally about to die. Otherwise, just leave them there. So there might be some circumstances where you can sort of squeeze in that pickup. Medical Expert will help with that. So Hold on. Did you understand those words that I said? Medical expert can kind of help you with that. So I got the lazy tongue tonight. We still get the extra trauma heal, technically, when we pick this card up. So, if you have excess healing items that you're going to leave behind, you can still get value out of it. And we still get extra healing efficiency. And it's quite nice because the other two decks that we haven't gone over yet, one of them is going to have Fit as a Fiddle, and the other one will have Well Rested, which will just give more value to having any bit of extra healing efficiency, because all that healing will go into over your trauma as temporary health. Poultice also works with Fit as a Fiddle. It will like literally keep your like temporary health like floating in one place, because as your temporary health degenerates, Poultice will push it back up again. It's quite nice. So again, just literally all the little things here, just sort of mid-maxing again, all the little bit of value. So if you do leave anything behind, one extra bit of trauma, not a huge deal, but you got it. This is not the right. We didn't want well fed. We wanted. What's the life? What's the life card? We wanted needs of the many. That's the card we want here. Next is needs of the many. This is primarily for you playing no hope mode, which I assume most of you do. If you're playing in nightmare mode, you can actually cut out needs of the many and put in any other support item that you'd like, because in nightmare mode you get the extra life. No hope mode you don't. We're running medical professional, so we need the extra life. Being able to restore that extra life is really, really nice. We do not have any extra support pocket slots here because everyone on your team is going to have one. Except for two of them. I didn't think about that, actually. Don't worry about it. You have medkits. You got support scavenger. You'll have stuff. If you see the support item upgrade in the shop, not a bad pickup. Not a bad pickup. We have cold brew coffee. And then after that is safe room recovery. So now hopefully between medical professional, medical expert, and safe room recovery, your entire team is hopefully avoiding the medicine cabinets. Especially if your medical items get upgraded. It'd be quite nice to sort of just restore trauma slowly over time. Cold brew coffee. Cold brew coffee for the use speed specifically. So if we're applying medkits, we're using defibs. If we have to, all those little things. Applying bandages, they get just that extra 25%. You can really feel it, I think. You really feel it. It's really beneficial just to sort of save a little bit of time here and there. But the reload speed is also quite nice as well, because we pick up in the zone and mag carrier. Right, so we have grenades, pipe bombs to deal with the horde. To try and prevent us from having to use those pipe bombs, though, we have lots of extra reload speed, and we're going to be using an SMG. All of the guns, as they scale up in color, get different attributes about the gun increase. One of them for SMGs is actually reload speed. So as you get a green to a blue to a purple SMG, I think the MP5 and the Uzi, they get increased reload speed naturally as those weapons upgrade. And so plus in the zone and cold brew coffee, you can mag dump really fast because your gun shoots really fast, which is great for crowd control. And then you reload really fast. And so as you push the horde back with your SMG, you have to reload. It begins to ebb forward towards you again. You're done reloading, you can push it back again. It's really nice, it's really fun. I mean, I love fast reload SMG stuff. But you're not necessarily designed to be this character is not designed to deal significant damage to mutations or to bosses. That's not your job. You are crowd control. You're handling all the little busy stuff, right? You're the support. You're the unsung hero. You deal with all of the dirty nonsense going on around you, while your LMG player just looks at tall thing and shoots it. Again, for the ammo card, if you're running into ammo problems, pick up Ammo Mule or Ammo Belt. But when it comes to in the zone, we're looking for headshots, and this 10% damage that we get on our SMGs goes a long way when it comes to getting headshots specifically. Saves you ammo in the long run, and you really are going for those headshots if you can. The bonus reload speed is really, really nice. Next is the fire shotgun tank. Nothing too crazy. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. For the medic team, I highly recommend that you play Charisse. You can play Mom or Doc, whatever you prefer. Highly recommend that you play Charisse. Simply because of the fit as the fiddle effect, the bolstered health. Now, we do have one character here that's running Fit as a Fiddle, but having the extra 40% that Charisse also then provides, or with those two things combined, is going to be really, really nice for this character, but also for all your teammates in general. Again, if you're finding excess healing items that you're going to leave behind and just move on, you can still, you're pumping your teammates full of temporary health. They got huge health bars. It's really, really nice. And if you sort of end up finding like some other healing items like group therapy, things like that, there can be some real potential as far as like doing big teammate heals and stuff. But I digress. Into the fire shotgun tank. This is about I highly recommend that this player is Holly. Holly. This is Holly. I think I'll go over all the characters I recommend at the end, right? I can't remember anything. Share the Wealth, Weapon Scavenger, Grenade Pouch, Run Like Hell, Spirit Cardio, Amped Up. That's sort of where the base cards end here. Instead of On Your Mark, we have Amped Up now. Inspired T5, and Pyro. This character is running Molotovs as their offensive slot. They're also running a shotgun. Expired T5 and Pyro is like one of the most powerful combinations in the whole game. It's huge. It's huge. And so this deck is playing around the idea, as far as being a tank is concerned, having lots of extra opportunities to generate temporary health. We have Expired T5 and Pyro, lots of extra temporary health. Then we got Scattergun skills for reload speed. One card, mid-max your reload speed, very nice. Don't need to worry about anything. You just shoot the gun and you go. Shell Carrier. Again, if you're running out of ammo, swap to the bigger ammo cards. Otherwise, we're min-maxing how much damage we can potentially get. We're looking for an AA-12. Highest DPS weapon in the game. So even though the 10% may not feel like a lot because it's, you know, the pellet damage is rather low individually, I do feel like it adds up over time. Now we have Buckshot Bruiser, Hunker Down, Fit as a Fiddle, Pumped Up, Fill 'em Full of Lead. And you can see here, this is all about generating lots of extra temporary health. If we play Holly and we have Buckshot Bruiser, every kill we get is generating a point of extra temporary health. It's decaying slower than normal with Pumped Up. And so between being Holly and having a shotgun and Pyro, you can pretty much sustain having a huge amount, that extra 40% temporary health for a really long time. And with Hunker Down, we increase our accuracy when we crouch, which is actually really good for the Buckshot Bruiser when you're shooting at mutations, because it helps condense your pellets. And bosses and mutations in general are like temporary health sponges for us. Great opportunities to sort of get a nice big boosty chunk of HP when fighting those things. And Hunker Down will help you to do that more reliably, more comfortably. If you get a laser sight as well, you're getting up to that 80% accuracy when you crouch. Really, really nice. But also the 10% damage resistance means that every bit of extra health that we gain over the course of the run is 10% better. Basically, every 10 points of health that you generate, it's technically 11 if you get smacked in the face while doing that. And so over the course of a run, as you're taking damage and then regenerating that damage with temporary health and things like that, all of it's 10% better. So it's actually a really nice little mid-max here to sort of boost the overall effectiveness of our ability to gain temporary health, while also then making that temporary health that we have gained more valuable in general. Hunker Down's a very cool card to run any sort of temporary health build. Fit as a Fiddle, right, for the temporary health, Pumped Up. Extra Painment is also kind of nice for our support, who is going to be finding pills and bandages all the time. Going full lead. Now, when it comes to the AA-12, even with the purple magazine, you can't get to the max stacks when it comes to fill and full lead. We're not super worried about that. We're just trying to mid-max our DPS again. Extra damage, extra straight-up flat damage, really, really nice in general. But the fire rate, the ability to just mag dump even quicker, means that we can generate temporary health faster. We do more DPS in general. And then we get to our reload quicker, where we have our scattergun skills and reload really fast. It's really, really fun to run this with a AA-12. And if you can find, again, the Can of Whoop-Ass attachment, which increases your fire rate as well as your magazine size, that plus fill and full lead is insane. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. It's a lot of fun to shoot. So that's this deck. Temporary health generation, Molotovs, play Holly. I highly recommend you play Holly with this deck. There's really no other alternative when it comes to manipulating our temporary health like Holly can when it comes to Fit as a Fiddle and Overheal. Now is the Copper Flex Clutch deck. This is the flexible deck. This deck rounds out some of the last gap we have with Well Rested down here. Same foundation, except we have Hazard Pay instead of a Scavenger card. A little bit of greediness here. This is the player who's hopefully healthy throughout the run. They're generating just a little bit of extra copper because copper is king. Copper is universal. Always good. Again, it helps fill in all of the gaps that your team might be experiencing or encountering. Then we have the extra grenade pouch. Notice that we have dash and fire in the hole. That plus run like hell and superior cardio. This is our speed clutch character. This is the character who can get stuff done when everyone else is dead. This is the character who has invested a little bit more into their ability to kite hordes of zombies around, maneuver, things like that. This character is going to be really strong on the crossing, really strong on the armory, broken bird, T5, as well as the body dump, which can be some very painful missions for teams to accomplish together. If everything begins to fall apart, you tell this person to run. You set them free. Go. Be all that you can be. And for like the body dump, barroom blitz, there's some really nice missions where fire in the hole just makes it really, really easy for a single person to do it all by themselves. Then they get amped up, rounding out the sort of universal team support cards here. So each horde event, you're generating 15 bits of ammo, 15% ammo, 40 points of health. It's super solid. Just enough to take the edge off. Not enough if your team sucks. Sorry. If you guys are getting slaughtered, sometimes it happens. Amped up is not there to fix it. It's there to take the edge off. And then well rested. And this is for our support character to sort of round it out for them so that everyone can have enough slots to do something specific, but also sort of do something cool, right? The support person, they get to shoot an SMG really fast and reload really fast. And I think that's kind of fun. That's kind of cool, right? Now we have Improvised Explosives and Demolitions Expert. Because our first teammate has Bomb Squad, this character actually does a little bit more grenade damage right out the gate. Though they don't have the sort of multiplicity of like the Shredder as well as the Film Full Lead. But for just straight up grenade throws, this person does more damage. Not necessarily that we want this person grenade dumping bosses or that's necessarily the solution right out the gate. But once you start getting to your purple grenades, and hopefully maybe you found some extra cards, that maybe you found Shredder, maybe you found Glass Cannon, this character is going to have all of the potential tools to deal with all of the particular missions. And so actually here, in their last 3 cards, I'm going to show you the last 3 cards for different acts here, for them to be the clutch hero. So if you're going to be this character and you're going to be playing in Act 1, I highly recommend that you run Screwdriver, Multi-Tool, and you can run Headband Magnifier or Cold Brew Coffee. I know some people don't like Headband Magnifier. I actually recommend that you can even like you can replace any one of these 3 cards with Headband Magnifier if you're comfortable with it. It's all about how you feel about loading that field cannon. If you struggle with it, trust in the Headband Magnifier. It's going to help you. I promise. Right, and so now at this point we sort of see that we have resource generation for ourselves, universal, with the copper. We got all the scav cards for our teammates to help us have stuff over time. All the grenade pouches, grenade damage, movement speed. We have all the tools to eliminate mutations, dodge the horde, and complete mission objectives. And we can do it for the most part by ourselves if we have to. If you are in Act 2, I recommend Pyro with T5. And rhythmic breathing. Why Pyro and T5? When it comes to Act 2, the big missions are the Armory, Broken Bird. Those are the 2 big ones I think people end up dying a lot. And those are sort of movement-heavy missions. There's also like pipe cleaners, and potentially if you need to like run around the church at the end of Grave Danger, things like that. Extra bit of stamina. But when you're on the move, though, and you're running out of stamina, you can hit T5 and heal yourself, sustain yourself. Like this little 2-card combination is a huge problem solver when it comes to just getting out of sketchy situations. And so between this and our grenade pouch, you can literally speed clutch all of the missions in Act 2. In fact, for Act 3, I would recommend this deck as well. Even more so the rhythmic breathing. In Act 2, you might be able to pull this out and put something else in, because at the end of Act 2, for the boss rush with Heralds with the Worm and Grave Danger, the stamina becomes a little bit less valuable. But overall, Act 2 and Act 3, I'd actually just recommend this. Just in general. For Act 3, again, we have all the same tools to dealing with mutations and dealing with the Horde, but now we also have the ability to very comfortably do T5, push our way through the maze on Garden Party, sprint at the end of Cabins by the Lake, and be able to run around at the body dump very comfortably, burn things out with Pyro, get the T5 grenades themselves, throw those at our feet, burn out zombies that way. Again, all the tools necessary to solo clutch Act 2 and Act 3 if you need to, while still providing the team with some extra resources and extra healing and whatnot, filling their gaps for their deck, but also still having cards that are invested into ourselves, being able to just burst our way through each of the campaigns. For Act 5, I mean, Pyro and T5 you can run as well. For Act 5, though, I would actually recommend you can run Cold Brew Coffee for Act 5. One card I want to talk about is just like, you can run Fresh Bandage. Making sure this character is always super healthy. Fresh Bandage is like an economic card. So if you're struggling with healing and spending a lot of money on healing, this is basically 400 to 800 copper over the course of a run, essentially. Especially like the longer ones, like Act 2, Act 3, Act 1 in general. But I would actually then recommend Cold Brew Coffee, Screwdriver, because of all the freaking traps. So if you are running and gunning or on the move or trying to clutch or taking the lead, having these 2 U-Speed cards will reduce the amount of trauma that you take by a significant amount. And at this point, too, it's just like, we can literally run anything. You want more damage? You can run, you can run, what's that, Confident Killer. You can run Marked for Death, right? You can run Marked for Death. You can run your own. Fill and Full Lead. This character is the flexible character. They can run any weapon. Not a sniper rifle for the most part, but they can run literally anything. When it comes to the missions where you're running T5, you can't run an AR. Running an AR is kind of a pain in the butt. But run whatever you want. Shotgun, etc., what have you. This is the character, though, that I will say that sort of needs to be smart about how they're using their resources. In general. Oh yeah, so Act 5, I didn't finish it. Cold Brew Coffee. Screwdriver. And then actually Universal Ammo. You can run ammo for all, but also just run Ammo Belt. Just in general. Because if your teammates end up dying, then you're going to need ammo. Also, too, like you have a character using AR ammo, character using shotgun ammo, character using SMG ammo. This character is not going to be running a sniper rifle, so this character is going to be doubling down on one of the ammo types that someone else is using. So long as this character is a little conservative, they should have, for the most part, enough ammo to potentially have for themselves, but even give to a teammate if they need to. Things like that. This overall nice, and the reload speed is also really nice as well, just in general. If you're not looking for like specific act campaign cards, like I've showed you so far, you can be a little more general with like the Fresh Bandage, the Rhythmic Breathing. Right, you can go Ammo for All, things like that. Right, you can be more general if you want to. Firing Sacrifice, what have you, right? Things like that. This is the flexible deck. The deck that sort of is smart about their grenades. Typically, the LMG person should be throwing their grenades first. They're keeping their supplies in reserve. Now, of course, if somebody's going to get smashed by a tall boy, throw a grenade. You throw a grenade, you save your teammate. But this character has the potential to sort of fill in any gaps that you want. If you don't like the suggestions that I've given you, then fine. Put in whatever you want here. But for the most part, once we get to this point here, we literally have all the tools necessary in a very general sense to deal with all the common problems. Attrition, mutations, and the Horde. Question is, do you need to solve objectives? Do you need to fill in some gaps somewhere else? Or what have you. So, in summary, the pipe medic should be Charisse, but it can also be Doc or Mom if you like. Fire shotgun tank should be Holly. If not, play anyone. Copper flex clutch card could be... I actually recommend Hoffman, but could be anybody. And then the LMG grenade deck could be anybody, so long as it's not, again, not taking up any of these other slots. That is the super flexible team composition for literally acts 1 through 5, with the exception of 4, because we have scavenger cards. It makes sense to run them on Act 4. Let me know what you guys think. If you and your friends try this team composition out, let me know how it goes, what act you played. I'd appreciate the feedback. Anything that you struggled with, oversights that I might have missed. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the future.